Brand spanking new Minnesota Vikings offensive lineman, probably center, maybe guard, who knows. Chris Reed, the pride of Mankato State University Community College. He fed the local media jackals this week. He had some things to say about his role with the team, as well as regime change, etc. It got pretty interesting for Chris Reed. Let's dive on into it. How he fits with the Vikings. Quote, I'm a hard worker. I like to excel on the field in the terms of ability to finish and work ethic. I think that's what I bring to the table in that sense, and I think I fit the personality this team wants to become. And I see a lot of guys who have been here previously that fit that mold too, and I think in this situation and environment, you'll see a lot of people stepping up and excelling. I'm really good at spelling. Sepping. They're sepping. Whatever. But yeah, Chris Reed does bring a little bit of nastiness to him, where it's not so much like he's a dirty player, but he is a hardworking, meat and potatoes, lunch pail, all of the heart and hustle, all of the cliches that you bring to the field in terms of what you love in interior offensive lineman. And I think that he will be a tone setter. And the Vikings interior offensive line has not been great. I mean, Ezra is developing nicely at left guard, but right guard has been a gong show. Garrett Bradbury has been disappointing, and a guy like Chris Reed, who has tons of experience, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, just bringing that workman-like attitude. I think that will be infectious for the entire offensive line. Next up, early impressions on the offensive line. Quote, it's early days, but I think it's a great room. They work hard. Just being around them the last 2 days working out, they work hard, their mind's in the right place, and they're really eager to learn and grow. And the Vikings offensive line is relatively young, where Brian O'Neill last year was basically the elder statesman if you take away guys like Dakota Dozier and Rashad Hill, which you did lose this offseason. Now you bring in veterans like Jesse Davis as well as Chris Reed, and there is going to be a shift in terms of who is going to be the leader in that room. Plus, you have Chris Cooper, who is not too far removed from playing for the Broncos, the new offensive line coach, and it's really a young room. So it really is up for grabs. So I'm glad to see that guys like Chris Reed are going to come in and establish some leadership. But also, we need Brian O'Neill, who is the real deal O'Neill, to really step up. He's the best offensive lineman on the team. He's becoming one of the best right tackles in the game. He needs to cement his leadership role in the Vikings offensive line room as well. Next up, on regime change. So he talked about how he's seen regime change at his previous stops, whether it be Jacksonville, whether it be Carolina, etc. But on Kevin O'Connell coming in, quote, I've seen a little bit of everything. I've seen old school thinking. I've seen new school thinking. I think that it's an environment that fosters the players taking over and growing versus a fear-driven system. Like, is there talking point cards? Because this is multiple times we've heard about like a fear-based organization or a fear-driven system. It's like, it's not really a common saying. Like, it's not really a common turn of phrase. So maybe Chris Reed, former teammates with Adam Jerome, Ezekiel Thielen at Mankato State University back in the day, maybe Thielen's giving him the 411 on what's been going down behind the scenes, when Zimmer and Spielman were here, because Thielen is very polished, and he won't talk out of school in the media, but you see how fiery he gets on the field, and you would think that behind closed doors, off the record, maybe Thielen gets after it just a little bit, venting. Talk about frustration, because he wants to win. He's the ultimate competitor. So maybe Chris Reed, got a little bit of that. Some knowledge of what was going down in their organization last year, and then this year, clean slate, Kevin O'Connell and company coming in. I love it. And he continues, and I think that's where it's going to be the key to getting this team to where it wants to go. Yes. And Kevin O'Connell, anti-fear-driven system, etc. New age coach. We'll be fine. On new offensive line coach Chris Cooper, quote, playing 8 years in the NFL, same spot in Denver. He's got a wealth of knowledge. Anytime you have a coach who's also been a player, he has insights and stuff he's done too. You're basically getting an extra player as well as a coach, end quote. Now, I had no problem with Phil Rauscher last year. I think that he was one of the position coaches on the Vikings, actually did a great job last season, but he moved on. And now you have Chris Cooper, who is a protege of the great Denver offensive line coach Mike Munchak, who former Hall of Fame offensive lineman for the Oilers, former head coach of the Titans as well. So Chris Cooper not only was a great player in the scheme that the Vikings are implementing, he's learned from one of the best offensive line coaches in the game. So it's just a great spot for Chris Cooper and whatnot. And I think that Chris Cooper, since there isn't like a power vacuum. There isn't a power dynamic with the Vikings offensive line because, well, Actually, take that back. There is a bit of a power vacuum, so he can step in. Like it isn't like entrenched veterans, 8, 9, 10-year veterans on big contracts who are not going to change the way that they play. They're not going to be open to new ideas and whatnot. You have relatively young guys along the offensive line, and I think that's going to be key for Chris Cooper going forward. And was that it? Yeah. Oh yeah. Chris Reed also talked about Thielen, of course. Plus, you forget C.J. Ham was also a college shot putter, Augustana, back in the day. And Chris Reed, name dropped C.J. Ham, NSIC, getting after it at track and field meets, shot in the put. But, Chris Reed, 2-time All-American, just getting it, man. And he talked about how Adam Thielen's story should be made into a movie. He didn't. They asked him who should play Thielen in the movie, and we've put it on the table. It's Jake Gyllenhaal. Like Jake Gyllenhaal, Nightcrawler, getting after it, man. Donnie Darko needs to be playing Adam Jerome Ezekiel Thielen in the movie. But either way, I like Chris Reed's attitude. He does look like every Minnesota brewmaster who wants to sell you on the new sour. We got the new raspberry sour stout that's coming out. Great. Cool. Or we have a quadruple hop IPA. Delicious. Great. But he said some great things. I think he's going to be a good leader and a good addition to this offensive line. And a great price, too. Plus a 2-year contract. Let's go. Good job, Kwesi. But your thoughts on our thoughts. How does Cat have 5 fouls? Anyways, your thoughts on our thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.